Hello and welcome. Today's episode will be covering the journey of three LITs. We will interview them after many years of graduating the program. It will be covering their beginning, their success, and their struggles. Their stories begin like many others, with hopes and dreams of a better future. Today is a special episode because we will interview them all together. Please enjoy our episode while you cross the line, an LIT journey. As we start our journey, we bring the big three back together. The big three consist of Marcus Penner, Saria Whitaker, and Richard Napier. Thank you for all coming. I'm pretty sure a lot of memories come back when seeing each other today. So let's just get right into it, shall we? For graduating the program, where have you all been? Let's start with Saria.
Well, since I graduated the program, I did follow my dream. One of my dreams was to go into the Air Force. I stayed there for about 5 years. Took my daughter overseas so she can get a worldwide education. And when I came back, I started my own not-for-profit so that I could also mentor young women and girls, give them the same opportunities that my mentors provided towards me. So I definitely want to take what was given to me and give back to my community as well.
And Richard, what about you? What have you been doing since then?
Well, everybody knows that food's important to me. And later on, I went into business with my son. And we decided to combat world hunger by developing a 6-year corn stock that would produce 6 years instead of the standard 2 years. It became a success and has helped produce hunger the world.
And Marcus, last but not least,
Doing our best.
what are you doing out there in the world today?
Well, I mean, like they said, I went for my dream, which was to give back to the youth. And I wanted to always be a coach. So that's what I went and did. And just recently, well, not recently, but about 6 years ago, I got a job with IUPUI with their head baseball coach now. First year there, we made the playoffs. 2 years later, we won the College World Series. And the last 2 years, we continuously won again. Back-to-back champs. All we do is win, that was a song that came out back when we were at finish line. And we're continuously winning now.
All three of you are doing so well, and it's great to see that you're doing this well. But I didn't bring you back here to brag in front of one another of how well you're doing. We actually brought you back here because in 2017, you could say that some big moves were made for the LIT program. I mean, almost, you could say it's the starting of a new chapter for all three of you. So let's go back to the beginning and let's start asking questions. And so, Saria, when you were starting, what made you want to go for the LIT program? What made you want to join the program?
These guys know I was starting at a start over point in my life. I want to challenge myself to really get to that next level, not just to come in and do the everyday task work, but I want to challenge myself and to see if I could also put forth that effort and I can see that in myself. Not just from the mentors and people around me, but just a challenge to myself to overcome those things. So I took that internally and I applied and I was accepted.
So for you, Marcus, her first step was just going for it. For you, what was your dream in starting this program?
Initially, I felt like people looked at me as I had potential. I felt I had potential, but I wasn't using it in the right way. I was on a team at the time, it was Workforce, and we were kind of looking for a leader to kind of man everything. And I wanted to step up and step to the plate in baseball. I didn't take any risk, and I wanted to be a risk taker. I was scared to fail. I was scared to make a mistake. And you don't learn and you don't grow without making those mistakes.
If you don't mind, I enjoyed what you said because I was so scared of failing. I had that conversation with my mentor Trina all throughout the first half of, just you just are so afraid of disappointing those who put their faith in you that you almost stop yourself from beginning. I so agree with what you said, Marcus.
And, you know, in my background at that time, you know, I come from a business that didn't accept failure, you know, and that's something I looked on as something that was shameful. And I remember having to come to terms with that, you know, that it was okay to fail as long as you learn something.
There's no loser. There's only a learner.
Right.
Well, Richard, I want to know what made you want to go for the LIT program.
I started the year before. I think you did too. Didn't
I
you?
did.
And I wasn't accepted in the first round. But the second round, I got it, and I really want to join because I wanted to have the chance to influence the leaders of tomorrow. I saw the LIT program as an extension of that. The ability to take leaders of tomorrow. I remember John and Deja, Claudia, and they were actually looking to get into leadership, and I encouraged them and I showed them steps on how to do that. I just wanted to be there to guide them like others had guided me.
And you were saying, you know, you're scared of failure, You know, this is something that just terrifies everybody. I'm almost positive, you know, failure. So let's jump into that. Marcus, I mean, you've been in the program with these two. So when you see failure as an LIT person, what was your initiative to be like, I can step up?
I mean, that's one thing you just said there. What did I see myself with this team being able to do? Being with them, them helping me out, me helping them when they're down, just us coaching each other. We've been together for so long. Instead of us just saying we're the next LIT group, we came up with a name for ourselves.
Big three!
You know, so we're a family. You know what I mean? So when I'm down, they lift me up. When they're down, I lift them up. One of the first events we did, which was probably one of the most frustrating because it really opened up my eyes, was we were the first ones to do the finish line 500?
Finish line 500.
Yeah.
So I came up with this idea. I want to do something big and bad, which was make these shish kebabs, right? I'm like, I got this recipe. I know how to get down on the grill.
Yeah.
I'm about to show them how we work. I'm about to show them how we get down. So I had to make 170 shish kebabs. And I'm like, that's nothing. I got it. Don't worry about it. I'm going to do it on my own. I don't need nobody's help. Nah, it didn't work that way. It didn't work that way. So all in all, we ended up getting to our first good, the bad, the ugly. And I heard they can get pretty bad, but I wasn't expecting anything, you know, major. So they give us the good. You know, I'm writing them on the board. Okay, yep. I'm giving them more good because I'm like, nah, y'all forgot about this. Hold on now. Wait, what about this? Write that on the board. We get to the bad. Okay, cool. And one supervisor sticks out the most to me. Casey.
Casey?
Man.
I was thinking Michael.
No, man, when I say Casey was just eating us, I'm like, hold, wait a minute. Like, she was eating us up, though. And it just really opened my eyes to know that nothing is perfect. Even if you do a good job, there's still so much more room for improvement. And that was hard to really take that in when I thought we did such a great job. I wasn't thinking about all the other things that we could have did better. And that was frustrating.
You know, with Casey though, the thing of it is you know, I look back on that, and now that I understand that, she was trying to help us. You know what we took, you know, maybe her being rough on us.
We needed it.
We needed it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Because we had to be on the ball for the next get together, the next presentations.
I know I remember this for a fact. I was gone, so you know, as that part of being a tasker, I was like, I left you guys a checklist. Like, so what went wrong? Maybe it's the fact that I left them a checklist. But then you kind of have to take that, and one of the things they mentioned in that good, the bad, the ugly is that we had to have a buy-in. You know, that means we had to connect with our audience. Again, going back to that communication piece that maybe I wasn't so great at, and I wanted to kind of hide. But you have to go back and get that buy-in, make that connection, you know. So we had a couple more events that year that went pretty well. But again, that communication, that buy-in, like, you have to take it with you, internalize that.
Right. So then, Richard, for you, I mean, what was most frustrating for you to try to get through it?
Well, the most frustrating thing for me was It seems like every time we did an event, one of us was missing. So
I was in the Bahamas for one of them.
yeah, and you were,
Las Vegas.
and then during customer care week,
He was training.
I was
Training,
training,
yeah.
so I was here on night shift, not the day. But through that, you learn things like delegation, task management, even better effective time management. Not that I struggled with that before, but man, you have to be on the ball. I mean, you just can't.
Sending emails out on time.
Sending emails out on time.
Things you want to
Back-
recognize, little stuff.
Back to the little stuff matters.
If you could go back and tell yourself, some motivation or some encouragement to, kind of make it easier, what would you go back and tell yourself? I mean, let's start with Marcus first.
Your supervisor, Aaron Lake. We were always invited to the supervisors' meetings, and they would kind of have a culminating event to where they would all lead. And each meeting that they did, they had to have a subject and a topic. Her
Right.
topic was do what you say you would do. But she gave us the initials for it, and she asked us, somebody tell me what this meant. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, I don't know. And Saria blurted it out. She got it right and won like a gift card or something, I think.
No, I almost had it right.
You didn't get it?
Again.
Ah.
I'm always like almost right there and just always seems to just miss that.
But yeah, that was big for me because I would say I was going to do something. I would try. I wouldn't do it like I wanted it, and I would show somebody, and they would say, it's okay, Marcus. And I would kind of just give up, like, nobody likes it. I can't do it anyway. Oh, well. So then people come back to me, and it's like, Marcus, how far along are you now? Oh, I'll give you something tomorrow. Like, now I have to make something up because I didn't think anybody was really invested in what I was doing. But in all actuality, just because they weren't on my back, they were waiting on me to come to them, and just being that leader and stepping up and saying, I got this. I'm going to own it. I'm going to get through it. I'm going to succeed. I'm going to win. And that's my attitude now.
What I learned was not just to be so focused on making sure everyone else is doing anything, making sure I do what I do. Like you said, sometimes you just don't know where to start. And one of the things I learned is to step outside of myself and ask for help. And the thing is not just to ask for help, because you have to ask for help in a timely manner, especially if you're asking for someone else's time, for them to put aside what they're doing to kind of assist you. For instance, like one of my things was being given a task of doing honor price. And so, and that was an honor price appeasement. It was to go to the supervisors and to Mark, Marilyn, and Steve. And I was doing okay for a while. Then we got into holiday season and support. And the next thing you know, we go from like doing 20 to like 160 appeasements. But once it got to the point where I couldn't handle it and I wasn't sure where to go and how to do it, like they ended up they took that away from me and they gave it to someone else. And that was really hurtful. But it made me learn more in the end that you have to ask for more help beforehand, or if you can find an opportunity to kind of make something a little bit better for someone else. And in the end, it worked out because I did end up doing different pieces for the appeasement report, but those were more successful than the first try. So that was the first failure, but the next things I started learning with Steve and doing the appeasement report worked out a lot better.
Richard, what about you? What would you tell yourself back then?
I would tell my earlier self, just accept change. Working inside of a box is very comfortable for me. And, of course, Saria was my opposite here. And all over the place. And I'm like, man, okay, here's the thing. You have your little drawing there, right? Sometimes people don't paint all of it, okay? And you have to learn how to manage it in order to be able to go through this program. Be ready for the paint. Be ready for the paint to come, whatever, because it does. And that's just something you have to do.
I mean, yeah, you gotta
She usually had the bucket.
draw outside the line a little bit. Yeah, I had to poke you around. Get that together, Richard. Let's go. But at the same time, I admired you for your ability to manage and prioritize your time. Like I wish I had more of that in myself at that time in my life. But I learned as I went along.
Time management was big for all.
Yeah.
Right?
Big three, time management.
Marcus, when did you realize in this program you're like, this is me, being a leader?
One question that one of my mentors asked was, why you? Like, out of everything going on, why do you feel that you're best for this group, this 2017 leadership group? And it was something I really had to think about. Like, yeah, why me? Like, there's a lot of good leaders out there, but like I said before, I had a lot of potential that was just untapped. And being around the mentors that I was around, Michael Ferguson, Gary Moore, they were two totally different types of leaders, but both of them got the job done like the right way. And both of them instilled so much in me that I still take to this day. One thing was game planning. Be ready so you don't have to get ready. Always be prepared, know what you're getting into. Be strong, be confident, and just listening to those and feeding off of their critiques of me. One thing about me, I wasn't assertive enough. They wanted me to be more assertive, so that was something I kind of took to heart because, I'm, a laid-back guy, but my leadership and the development that I saw took me to the next level. And like I said, with my dream, I wanted to be a coach. And now I have a group of kids that follow my lead because of the way that I'm teaching them.
So what did you learn from your time from the program that you still carry with you today?
I would say a lot of lessons I learned in my hardest moments were I had to learn how to be persistent. I had to learn how to take the book and throw it away. There is no book. There's no book to leadership. There's no book to life. Everything in life doesn't go according to plan. And that was what I most struggled with. I struggled with it throughout the program. I struggled with it in life. So that life-work balance. So one of the things I learned to take out of the program was, one, prioritize my time. Definitely using my voice and being more persistent and asking the right question, because you can ask someone to bring something in, but if you don't tell them exactly what you need, then they're not going to do it. And remove that fear of failure. I think those are some of the things I definitely took with me, some of the things I learned. And I mean, if I look back over this time, over 2020 hindsight, I wish I spent more time getting to know people, getting their advice, not so much staying in my area. And I think those help lead me on the path of success, and able to mentor someone else.
Richard, how about you? What did you bring with you today that you learned from back then?
Well, it really is all about communication. I had to discover how to communicate to different sets of people from different backgrounds. I remember there were a few people on the floor that I still had issues being able to start a conversation with. Not that that's ever a problem, but having an approach towards these individuals so I could reach to them because I can't talk to people. It was just these particular individuals. You got to find the wedge. And I remember when we switched over to this new QA, there was a lady by the name of Rachel Rhodes, and she was not having very much luck with the new QA, and I did a role play session with her. I was able to communicate with her, and I remember the very next set of scores that she had, she got all hundreds, and she still had hundreds at the end of the program. So being able to reach out to other people and talk to them. I remember taking that and applying it to the very last class in February. Other than the two people that dropped out that year on the first, or in that month on the first day, we didn't have anybody quit. I don't think we've ever done that before. Having that communication set, you know, being able to reach out to people from across the board has helped me do what I've done combating the world hunger.
Marcus, how about you?
I would say, I think Richard touched on it a little bit, communication, like networking. Being able to reach out to people that might not even be in my department. People that have expertise in something I'm not strong in. And we did something that was called a strength finder. And one thing that told you was strengthen your strengths and work on your weaknesses. And that took me a little while to understand that it's like, if I'm weak at this, why wouldn't I concentrate more on this so I can be just as good at this, you know? But you want to make sacrifices, and you just want to use your team. You want to utilize what you have around you, reach out to people that aren't around you, and just be a better you.
For the last question, can you just give some words of advice for the next LIT members coming up, Richard?
Yeah, you have to accept change. It's as simple as that. And part of that is accepting feedback. I missed that. You have to take the feedback. Don't be offended by it. Listen to what they're saying. And then say, how can I change in this manner? And then put forth that effort. What is it that I can do to accomplish this? You have to ask the question and then build a plan on that. But you have to be able to, you have to accept the change. You have to accept the feedback. Without that feedback, you'll go on just doing what you're doing and never know any different.
What would I tell the next group of LITs? I would tell them, don't be afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are there for you to learn so you can build upon, and that will get you to your next level. Because your fear of making mistakes will stop you from trying. I would definitely tell the next group of LITs to lean on all those around me. Critiques are meant just to be that. They're there to help make you better. And follow through with what you say you're going to do. I know my supervisor, like Marcus had pointed out, do what you say you're going to do, because if you don't, then they start to lose trust in you. And that was something that happened to me. So I understand how that made me feel, but it's helped me to build upon going to the next round. I don't know what I'm doing. Can you help me get here? Ask that question. So trust those around you. You're there for the experience. Don't stop yourself from experiencing it.
I would say, don't be afraid to ask for help. That was something that was big for me. It's like, when you ask for help, it's because you're weak. You don't know. So you want people to think that I know what I'm doing, so you don't have to delegate this to somebody else. So I was always afraid to ask for help. A book that I read, it was written by Eric Thomas. He stated that there's two different types of people. There's the gazelle and there's the lion. A lot of people come into this program as a gazelle, then you end up being a lion later on. But come into this program as the lion. Don't wake up every morning and somebody has to motivate you. You know, you go eat grass, you go to the lake and drink water, and that's what you do every single day until the lion chases you. Now the lion chases you, now your day changes a little bit. You have that motivation to run. The lion wakes up every day knowing, if I don't go get a gazelle, if I don't go get some food, I'm going to starve. I don't want to starve. I want to be that lion that just wakes up motivated. You know, that's how you need to come into this program. Come into the program motivated. Come into the program willing to ask, willing to fail so you can learn, and be humble. And that's it. You know, and you'll be the next LIT.
After the interview was over, the big three got up said their farewells, and headed their separate ways, leaving with more memories than they came with. The LIT program had brought together 3 very uniquely different people, but despite their differences, they were willing to change for the better. The Big 3 have hopes and dreams just like all of us. The difference is, they crossed the line. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you at the next race.